said, we just kind of relax for 20 seconds. But anything you say now is being broadcast to our millions and millions of viewers.
I think we should have an extreme stream at some point where we all have a lot of pouches and we're all really angry all the time.
I don't know. Having all those pouches, I'd really be tempted to find out what you actually keep in them. I've always wondered that. I just suspected it was ammo, but...
Grenades.
Well, that does make sense. You'd want explosions going off behind you just at all times if you're being extreme.
I guess there's usually grenades and pouches, though, right? So those pouches have other things.
I'm guessing those are smaller grenades, specifically for background explosions.
So the people watching the stream have noticed what we're opened on. Because clearly, this game is a ripoff of Magic the Gathering. You all know it. I know it. Our special guest this evening, Chris, a.k.a. Braithwaite?
Yes. Braithwaite.
Braithwaite. He knows it too. And he's right. The mechanics, artwork, and theme are indistinguishable from one another. I mean, I accidentally play Sentinels with Magic the Gathering decks all the time, personally. Yes, that is currently stickied at the top of our Steam forum because I wanted to draw attention to it because I think it is just so hilarious. It's actually not entirely clear if it's a piece of performance art or not. Because I feel like, well, actually, let's back up. So we are currently the Steam Deal of the Day, woo! Which means that there's actually quite a few new players coming in. According to Steam's rules and terms and conditions, I'm not actually allowed to tell you exactly how many, but it's more than a couple thousand, believe it or not. And so as a result, we've got some new people. So if you're out in multiplayer, be nice. Be teachers, as I know you all are, being that we are a community of amazing people. So say hi to the new people, show them the ropes, explain to them how it works. Maybe drop out of requiring all the expansions in a couple multiplayer games so you can play with some of the new people. Because we've got a lot of them this week. And we're excited about that. I got an email just randomly yesterday morning like, hey, we had someone cancel. You guys want to be the game of the day? And I was like, yes, that would be bully.
Did you actually use the word bully?
I mean, I used it in my head.
Oh, okay.
But I did not use it in the email. I tried to be a little bit more professional. So I closed those windows, and now there's another window up. What is this? $818,309. That can't be a real number. Is that a real number?
I don't think numbers go that high.
It's like when Gangnam Style went over like 1 billion views. Like that's not.
I think it's gonna wrap around.
It is gonna wrap around. So they got to be real careful because if they have to get to like 999,999 because if they get all up to 1 million, it's gonna wrap back around to 0, and that's no good. That would not be good. They don't want to raise $0 from this Kickstarter.
That definitely does seem like it would defeat the purpose.
So not that I am expecting there's anyone in the chat who is not already aware of Oblivion, but it's possible that you're not. Head over to the Kickstarter. Search Kickstarter and Oblivion or Kickstarter Sentinels of the Multiverse, and you will find the end of the multiverse, the final expansion.
I'll go to KickTrack and look at the hottest project.
Yes, that is another thing you could do. And that's coming along very nicely. We've now seen all sorts of new heroes, villains. They have yet to actually tell us too much about the mechanics of Oblivion, but I believe that Christopher said they're going to be talking about that this week.
Yeah, I think Wednesday and Friday.
Wednesday and Friday. And they specifically said that Friday's update is going to go out early so that he can be free to answer questions on the weekly artwork stream that they do every Friday at noon Central Time, where you can watch Adam create character card and other artwork, frankly, right there live on Twitch. So I'm here. I'm Jeremy. You know me. John's here. Say hi, John.
Hello.
And as we mentioned, we have a special guest this evening. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Chris. Some of you know me as Braithwaite. I'm one of the playtesters and general Sentinels loving people. I don't really know. But yeah, I wrote the Razor's Edge story, and now it's a weekly one-shot, which is really, really awesome.
Yeah, so this was an idea that started getting passed around just a couple weeks ago, actually. John was like, hey, there's a lot of people coming up with some really interesting fan fiction in the Sentinels world. What if we were to base some of the weekly one-shots on that? Because, when we come up with the weekly one-shots, some of them may or may not come from Christopher in the future. He's a little busy right now. So he hasn't written any of them for us yet, but some of them are sort of sourced from what we know of the Sentinels lore, but some of them are just us coming up with what we think might be fun games. Occasionally we'll come up with a couple different setups and try them out, test them internally, and see what we like. Like I've written a couple of the ones that are really specific to be like, I think Gods and Men was one of the ones that I came up with, which is like the Ennead, Fanatic, I think the Scholar was in that one.
And Ra.
And Ra, exactly, yeah. So as thematic ones that seem like they would be a particularly interesting challenge. We also try to seed in ones that only require the core game every 5 weeks or so, because we want people who are new to the game to be able to participate as well. Next week will be one of those, by the way. And so we were coming up with a new way to do it, and we said, hey, there's some really interesting fan fiction, and the Razor's Edge... The Wraith, Razor's Edge, is a good one. Before I let you tell about why you wrote this and where the inspiration came from, let me do my quick little intro thing here. So, welcome everybody to Sentinels Live. Thanks again for joining us around the digital tabletop while we play what game, John?
Magic the Gathering?
Magic the Gathering, exactly. The goal of these streams is to have fun while showing you how to play the game, as well as covering some strategies that might help you win. As we are the developers, you can always be sure to get some insight into the process and maybe even see some stuff before anyone else. The game includes a tutorial that covers the basics, but we always do our best to explain exactly what we're doing, when we do it, and why. And depending on how long it takes for us to win or lose, we sometimes play more than one full game in an episode. And episodes typically last somewhere between an hour to 2 hours. Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iPad, Android tablets, as well as PC, Mac, and Linux via Steam, where it is the daily deal! Tell your friends. And you can get the game as well as more info on the game at sentinelsdigital.com. So Chris, tell us, where did you come up with this idea for the Razor's Edge? What was the inspiration, and how and when did you write it?
So a while back, I started toying around with the basic story structure, which was the idea that at some point we know that Wraith kills Spite, which is a very big deal for her. And we know very little about what went into that process, other than that, she did it with a Razor Ordnance shot. And that just got me thinking about, what might precipitate such a thing. And I started writing it, and it made me realize that not enough people are scared of Spite. People don't like Spite. People don't like going up against Spite. But at the core of it, they just don't seem to be scared enough about him. And so I wanted to really try and find out what he would do that would be particularly awful. The sort of things that would make him this terrifying person in Rook City, and what would precipitate, I have to kill him. There's just, I can't let him do this ever again. And I don't know if I nailed it. I certainly was happy with it. And that's sort of how it came to be.
So we have joined a room here, but my understanding is we were going to play the weekly one-shot. Is that not what we're doing, John?
Oh, I didn't know that we were going to do that first.
We
can do that. I wanted to mention I really liked how you brought in the sort of psychic angles of Spite, twisting the Wraith's mind and whatnot, and sort of representing what the powers that his drugs can give him. When the heroes try to do things, they're getting thwarted, and that sort of comes through in the mechanics as well as in the story.
Right.
And I will say this, too. I understand what you're saying. I am terrified of Spite. I really am. I mean, he is... We've talked about this, too, when we've played him on the stream before. The problem with Spite is that he makes the heroes make decisions that heroes don't like to make. And that is, to me, that's where the fear of him lies, is that you have to decide, do I kill him? Do I let an innocent bystander die? Those are things that heroes are often faced with, and they are not fun decisions. And this game is so good at letting you sort of role play this idea of I am this stalwart hero. But when you play against Spite, man, you need a shower afterward.
One of the things that I both like and dislike about fighting him is that a lot of the time, especially on advanced, you're forced to wait. You have to keep waiting, and you have to not do anything as he rampages through Rook City. And that's again, that's one of those things where it's not fun, but thematically it's sort of perfect, because you can't always just solve the problem. Sometimes, especially with someone like Spite, horrible things are going to happen while you have to track him down, while you have to corner him, while you have to deal with the fact that this is a person who's perfectly willing to cause chaos just to screw with you.
All right, Chris, we have a new game, Fanatic number 18. You can join in.
Alrighty.
So I have been kind of in a bit of a love affair with Absolute Zero lately, so if it's okay with everybody else,
Sure.
I'll take Absolute Zero.
And I'll grab Legacy.
To be fair, it has
excellent.
mostly been the new Freedom 6 Absolute Zero, but nonetheless. So I did notice someone in the chat mentioned that it is hilariously fitting that I chose to use the Fine cover in the news item this week instead of the typically I use Mint, although I have used Near Mint occasionally as well. This week I just went with Fine, mainly because I'm trying to switch it up, but also because I think it is pretty fitting.
Yeah,
I'd like to admit that I have not gotten Mint in solo play on this one. I was obsessed with taking him out with the Razor Ordnance Shot, and that was perhaps not the best call, but it when it finally worked, it felt perfect.
I don't remember your face, but I remember the fear in your eyes. Delicious. Donovan, I should have known I hadn't seen the last of you. Let's end this.
You know, the funny thing is, Christopher once told me this, but Spite actually sounds like Johnny Cash. That's one of the things that...
Interesting.
That's one of the things that always goes through my head, is that, you know, he doesn't sound evil. Like, it's always in my head.
Like he's your best friend, right? But
Yes, yeah.
He gets you to trust him, and that's the most horrible thing about it, is that, I mean, the one card of his that just never, ever leaves my head is or when I'm thinking about him specifically, is the Lost Girl, where it's, you know, he's pretending to be a good person to lure this kid off to her doom. And that's just evil with a capital E.
All right, let's talk about what we got here. Wraith begins with Combat Stance, Infrared Eyepiece, Mega Computer, and Razor Ordnance. Legacy's got a Bolster Allies, Danger Sense, Heroic Interception, Inspiring Presence. And Absolute Zero starts with an Isothermic Transducer, Modular Realignment, and 2 Null Point Calibrations. Is this a fixed seed on this one, John?
Yep.
All right. So that is what everybody will start with if you play this game. Out comes the Safe House, as it always does. And we got a Good Samaritan. And Lost Child. And out comes PL 626 Compound XI. Or 11, as it were.
Guy.
Yeah.
Xi, right.
Guy.
And I'll mention, I have actually not played all the way through this one shot. I got about halfway through it, and then I had to test some other stuff, so I ended up leaving and losing my game, and I never went back and finished it. So, we'll see. I can get it.
Alrighty.
All right, what do you think, Ray?
Yeah, there's some commentary in the forums about one thing I find after setting up the one-shots is people ascribe much more malice to me than is accurate.
My thinking is, for the Lost Child, I don't want Wraith to take any damage right now because of the Nemesis bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably going to get whacked more than I'm comfortable with anyway in this fight, so I'd like to avoid extra damage where I can. So I'm going to say no to the Lost Child, horrible as that is. And I'm thinking Infrared Eyepiece. I want to get started here with finding out what he's got and trying to... Do we want to try and get the drugs out as fast as possible, or do we want to wait and build up a little bit?
So that was the strategy I took when I started playing it, and I don't know how well I was doing. But
that's usually what I do.
Then if I will use Infrared Eyepiece, and we will see what there is to see.
So there's a question in the chat. Does Handelabra choose the order of every deck for these one-shots? We do not. Typically what happens is if we're going to go with a fixed seed, John will try several openings and just sort of try them with different seeds and see what comes up. And once we land on, and maybe play a couple turns just to see sort of what comes up generally. And if he's happy with what comes up, he'll call that done.
Usually it'll be things like, I want, for this one specifically, we want this drug to start, and we want, this victim to start, and we want Wraith to have a couple certain cards, and that's it. And then we try a few different combinations, or even just one. We just try combinations that satisfy those conditions. But I'm not deciding what Absolute Zero has. I'm deciding what Legacy has.
Yes. So for those of you who are reading between the lines, yes, a decent portion of the time that you spend, if you are a person who is employed by Handelabra Games, is playing Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Yes.
So I did an eyepiece. I found that there was a lab raid among the first 2 cards, and I shuffled that to the bottom. So we're going to have a little bit more time before he gets all the things.
Excellent.
All right. So I suppose I could take some damage to save a lost child. And here the order won't really matter, I don't think. Let's see. Do we want some more cards, or do we want to be inspired?
I don't know. Danger Sense seems more useful. I mean, this is Rook City. This is an unsafe place.
It is.
That's true.
And I don't know about you, but I'm not planning on doing damage next turn, so Inspiring Presence seems like we could wait on it a little bit.
All right. And you have a card you want to play next turn?
I'm gonna probably put out my Isothermic just to start getting set up.
All right. Then I'm not going to use my power.
Draws a Thok. Like I said, I'm going to get out my Isothermic, and I'm going to skip because, it'll do 1 damage, and then it'll heal it right back up again, yeah?
Right.
And there's my Focused Apertures. I like that. Are we trying to get him into the safe house?
I don't like the idea of Spite playing extra cards right now, not without knowing what we're doing.
Yeah, I actually commented on Twitter this week that the stream oftentimes makes fun of me because my strategy is do all the damage right now. That's always my strategy. And it does work more often than it fails, although sometimes it does fail spectacularly. And when I was playing against Spite here, I was noticing that he was healing up, but that didn't stop me from dealing all the damage and even letting him play additional cards because my strategy was get as many people in the safe house and get as many drugs out quickly. Those were my 2 main goals with him. And if I did damage in the process, fine. And so that was kind of what I did. And like I said, I did not finish that game, so I do not know if that would have been successful. But that was what I was doing. Spite is definitely one of those villains that I don't play very often for a lot of the reasons that were mentioned earlier. And so he's not someone that I have a really solid strategy in place for, so I tend to defer to my compatriots when I'm playing against him.
So I'm going to ditch a Razor Ordnance, since I have 2 of them. And Spite doesn't destroy your stuff, he just puts it back in your hand. And I'm going to go with the Stun Bolt.
Yeah, the first time I played this scenario, I had Spite deal himself 25 damage due to victims when he flipped. So
yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. All right, if I can get a bunch of victims in that safe house and keep them from coming back out again, then that could really be a good way to flip him and do a bunch of damage.
So here's the question. I've got a Stun Bolt. I can start keeping his damage down, but that's still going to plink away at me, what with the Nemesis bonus. Or do you want me to keep looking for cards? I think
either's good. So
my inclination is to stun him because I don't like when he does damage. That's just not cool.
And actually, something that we skipped up front. Let me once we get through this damage dealing cycle, I'm going to pop open his character card real quick because I believe we're playing on advanced. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's make sure everyone's clear on what those advanced rules are. At the start of the villain turn, Spite regains 5 HP. So that's what I was talking about with, I could deal him 1 damage, but then he's going to kind of right back. But when he flips, his advanced rule is he regains 15 HP. So he's got a lot of healing in advance is really what it boils down to. So if you're gonna do damage, you got to do a lot of sustained damage, and you got to do it quickly, or else he's just gonna get it back.
I punched him and drew cards.
Yeah, that lead from the front is a bit of a double-edged sword with Absolute Zero, because there's going to be times when we don't want to take damage, but we absolutely want him able to hurt himself.
Yeah. I'll just keep getting set up and heal myself for a point.
And then get hit.
Oh, right, because of the power.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing about you have modular realignment, so you want cards in your trash.
Yes.
So once again, do we want to play the top card of his deck, or do we want to keep that Good Samaritan out, knowing that there is peril there? And I think my inclination is still to leave the poor guy out in the soup line.
We'll leave him out. We can discard a card to get rid of this.
I've got to make a computer I can ditch if that's a thing. I'm not particularly worried about the environment damage so much.
Well, actually, Jeremy, if you want to, you could discard focused apertures.
Yeah.
And then use modular
yeah.
realignment.
Yep. Let's do that.
Good call.
Play the old pervasive red dust game. Oh, Scum and Villain. We're playing the top card of the villain deck no matter what.
Yep.
It's another Samaritan.
Another Samaritan.
Well, one of them's dead.
Lateral damage. No, I want the other one.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Fun.
The other guy was so smarmy when I was waiting for my
there
soup.
you go. Now it's not an issue anymore.
Well, you have Field Freeze. You can get rid of that card if you want.
I've got a set of smoke bombs in hand, so what I think I'm going to do is... Or I've got an impromptu invention, so what I think I'm going to do is get out some smoke bombs.
Yep, that's a good call.
That way, I mean, since I'm already the lowest, it'll be much easier for me to just stun him. And I'll just keep stunning him.
Fine with me.
0 retaliation.
I'm really hoping that you get some fortitude eventually, because once he gets his damage booster, that's still going to chip away at you.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I can get another stun bolt soon. I think maybe bolster allies, maybe inspiring presence. It seems like a...
Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah, I think for the Wraith, I'm going to use bolster allies to see if you get another card too.
Fair enough. Hey, throat jab.
Perfect.
That'll work.
Just make sure not to play it at the wrong time.
Yeah, I actually did that in one of the games, and he flipped and did himself nothing with 5 people in the safe house. I felt very stupid.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's probably still not worth it for me to use my power.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to Fueled Freeze and kill both of those collateral damages.
That makes sense.
Though he'll destroy his own card. He'll destroy them himself when he flips. I don't think he's going to be dealing 4 damage at once. I'm not sure they're really doing it.
That's true, because we keep stun-bolting him.
I would go with modular, personally.
Yeah, that's fine. I can modular.
Because then next turn your Field Freeze will do more damage because of that.
Good call. Why don't you throw it on yourself and just
I was going to say, I'm like, yeah. It goes against my play
so
style.
think of it this way, you're still doing all the damage, it's just to yourself.
But it gets transmuted. Or transduced, I guess. Or null pointed. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, look, the strength of Absolute Zero is his ability to play the hit point game. So I'm fine with it.
There, another Field Freeze just in case.
Nice.
I don't think the order will matter here. That stun bolt is helping.
I'm hoping I'm gonna get another one soon.
Ah, the
Hey,
statue.
no, we had Danger Sense.
Yes, very nice.
Oh, hey, nice. I don't think I've
things are
played
gonna
that
get
in other tries.
unfortunate soon.
It's been useful.
Nope, he hasn't got his damage booster out yet. Yeah, that's his damage boosting drug is probably my least favorite, just because it makes you put stuff back in your hand, and so it becomes so hard to make progress against.
Well, and
him.
honestly, the thing about Spite, and this is, I think, one of the reasons why I have such a hard time coming up with a good strategy against him, is that he changes the game fundamentally to me. You know what I mean? Like, most of the strategies that I have for any number of heroes just simply work differently against him, and I still haven't wrapped my mind around that, because, like, he's shuffling decks and putting cards back and boosting damage and all this. Like, you get all those drugs out, or maybe not all of them, but you get like 2 or 3 of them out, and all of a sudden you're playing a completely different game.
Yeah, so he's got his defensive one out. But the nice thing about Spite is a lot of people will play him with 5 heroes, and with most villains, 5 heroes makes it easier. But with Spite, 5 heroes makes it a lot harder.
It's so tough.
With 3 heroes, the balance of many things against Spite makes it a lot easier, because he only does 1 damage or only 2 damage, and he only returns 1 card for 3 heroes.
Which again, thematically makes a lot of sense. You know, when you're dealing with a serial killer, you don't bring out the SWAT team. You need a focused team to try and outsmart him.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got Next Evolution, so I'm going to play that and become immune to Toxic.
Oh, clever.
You have 3 of those awesome cards that are not useful with absolute 0 in play.
You got a legacy ring.
Yeah.
Oh,
excellent.
nice. All right, so there's that card that I don't know how to use. Sub-Zero.
I don't think
Atmosphere.
Sub-Zero is super useful against Spite.
It's very situational. It's extremely powerful if you can do it right, though.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but I have yet to actually experience that and do it well. So, any of those want to go away? Probably not.
No, thank you.
Okay. And yeah, I think. I mean, yeah, he's still less than 5 hit points down. So.
Yeah, he's just going to heal it back up.
Yep.
Still, it's good for morale to chip away at him.
Yep.
Sure. If I have any excess damage, by all means, I will send it his way.
My inclination is no, since he's just going to kill it off with the Mind Fire drug anyway.
Yeah, and you can... Oh, that's right, he'll get rid of it. So... And the discard, actually, you have to watch out on his flip side. If you say yes, it ends up just not getting rid of itself because he can't play a card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So he does damage, and you play an environment card, and then that card stays out.
Ugh.
All right. We have to choose between an innocent bystander and a lost child.
I'm going to vote for the innocent bystander.
I vote for the child. Sorry, kid.
Oh man, you're gonna make me be the decider? I mean, I'm a dad. I can't vote for the lost child. Sorry.
Maybe the innocent bystander is a horrible person.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
well.
there goes
Do
the
we
child.
know he's innocent?
It didn't matter. Fight is on a murderous rampage.
Well, but
this
and
game.
there you go though. Like as a hero, I made my call, and that might not have been the right one. You know, like
Exactly.
you got to do what you got to do.
At least for now, we're holding steady. I am so glad I have smoke bombs. I would be getting beat up
They're
so
very
badly
helpful.
without them. All right, so I'm going to ditch my other combat stance, since I now have 2 of them, and
Sense.
throw that guy into the safe house. Do you want...
I wouldn't throw 2 of him now because
yeah,
he
I'm
can
just
potentially
thinking
flip
that's
soon.
a really good call. The other thing is I have to actually do damage with that in order to stop him, and I
Right.
don't think I can get past his damage resistance right now. Yeah, no, that's a very good call. And I certainly know what I'm planning on doing. I wish I could find a belt or a targeting computer or something.
All right, Legacy Ring.
Yep.
Very nice.
See, this is my problem with Legacy. Is I probably would have done that in the other order. I would have galvanized because that's like my default first thing for him all the time, and then I would have gotten smacked. But making him immune first is definitely the better idea.
Okay.
You have a cryo chamber in there?
I've got to. I mean, I've been discarding like a crazy person.
You do.
So... I do? How come I don't see it? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's right. These are not in alphabetical order.
They're in actual trash order.
Yeah, they're in trash order. I forgot. All right. So, yeah, let's get that.
Episode 0 is like, I'm just cruising at full hit points.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I think just keep hitting yourself.
Yep. Look at that.
Actually, now you're at full health. So you can hit him, but
it's. I mean, it's for. This is something I've picked up from John. Is like under normal circumstances, I would do that damage anyway, even though it is completely inconsequential. But I have learned from the master to skip skip a power if it's going to be useless.
Yeah, that's one of my perennial problems. Is I don't like what I consider to be a wasted turn. I don't like the ones where I'm just drawing 2 cards, and that's one of the reasons why I have a very hard time playing Bunker. Is because sometimes he has to do that in order to get a gun or a grenade launcher or some such, and it's just it can be a very frustrating experience.
Well, especially default Bunker, because it's like if you don't have anything you want to play. And then it's like you're going to draw a card, and then you're going to draw a card, or you're just going to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what do you do?
I will keep stunning him.
That's the same issue that I have a lot of times with, I think, is it Expatriate? Isn't her default power to play a card?
Yes.
Yeah, so with her, it's easier, because it's like if you don't have a card to play, you're not going to use the power, so it's like boom, boom, and you draw 2, and you're good.
That for the longest time, I thought that Expatriate was just hopelessly broken, and I hated her deck because you actually had to occasionally, like, you could run into times when you didn't start with a gun, and you didn't draw a gun your first turn, and you'd just sort of be stuck waiting until you got one. But over time, she's become my favorite character, despite the fact that sometimes, yes, you can still have, bad streaks where you need to wait a little bit.
See, this conversation is reminding me that one of the reviews, I believe, that we got on, I want to say Touch Arcade, the guy was reviewing it and was talking about how he's like, oh, I did a random and I had to get stuck with Tachyon. He's probably the worst character in the game because, and then he went on to explain why he thought she was the worst character in the game. And everyone at Handelabra and everyone out who understands Sentinel's jaws just hit the floor like, oh my god, could they have got someone to review the game who actually understands how this game works?
Well, it's similar to whenever I see someone who is very seriously telling me that Chrono Ranger is one of the weakest characters in the game, and it's just sort of difficult for me to fathom how anyone can think that.
Yeah, it took me a few plays to figure out exactly how to use Chrono Ranger with the bounties and what you needed to get out and when. But once I did, oh my goodness, yes! Like opening weekend when Shattered Timelines came out and the achievements first came out, I went online to infect some people with achievements. And I played Chrono Ranger like 3 games in a row because I finally figured him out, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is running the table. It was so much fun.
Yeah, him against Plaguerat is easily one of my favorite games. It's such a wonderful damage race. But honestly, he's perfect for whenever you want to have someone around who can just beat down.
So John is voting. You're both voting for Sub-Zero Hemisphere?
I'm voting for Sub-Zero for something to put back in your hand.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to influence his stuff that much.
It's put back in your hand fodder.
Exactly.
Understood. All right, so let's see.
And here, I mean, if you want stuff in your trash, you could use a power, but I would just skip. Because you're going to heal, and then he's going to hit you for 1.
I'd be very surprised if he didn't get his drugs out this turn, just because he's got.
Oh, there you go. Thermal shockwave.
He's got 2 lab He's got 2 lab raids and several things that play the top card of the villain deck in his hand.
Blighted Streets. Increase damage to heroes by 1.
Yuck.
Well, he's going to blow it up anyway. But first he gets to hit us with some of the benefit.
Ugh, that infernal damage sound.
Yeah, and there we go.
PL 531, Compound Upsilon.
Oh, this
So
is happening at the
this-
start of the villain turn, but after he checks for the flip. So we will have another round before he flips. So we can try to get all the victims underneath.
Yeah, let's get the victims
Yeah,
under
yeah.
there and don't throat jab him, and we'll be good.
Although we definitely want to get the flag in play now so that we can get set up for damage. Ooh, micro-targeting computer.
Yeah. So
There's the Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero can go back. Oh,
Ah,
Oh no.
bastard.
I would say the Good Samaritan is harder for us to get rid of safely. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
unless I guess we have takedown.
Wow, he just played all the cards.
Oh, he played another card because of Sub-Zero for getting destroyed.
Ah,
Oh.
well,
That's
what are
why.
you gonna do?
Oh well, we're dumb. We thought we were being clever, but we weren't.
Speaking of people being clever, the chat is discussing who the worst heroes are, and it is quite... The worst characters in the game are definitely the Planeswalkers. I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got quite a few cards that I don't need, so I'm going to start discarding cards for the innocent bystanders. So I can get rid of my supplemental infrared eyepiece. I don't have 3 cards to discard. Do either of you have that?
I can discard 3 cards.
Okay.
Jeremy can probably
So-
discard 1. So if you want to spread the load,
But then now I do have an extra card that I can ditch.
sure.
So I'll get rid of my throwing knives since I'm going to keep stun bolting. And speaking of,
Well, did we want to stun? Well, I guess it's only 1.
well, I mean, it is going to affect how much damage he does to himself.
But it's only, yeah, I was going to say, it's only 1 versus himself, but it's more
Hey,
spread
nice.
for us, so.
Another throat jab.
Yeah, that's very nice. I don't think the takedown's useful at this point because he doesn't really play cards.
Yeah, he's not going to play cards. He might on the environment turn, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's worth playing it, so I'll discard it.
Maybe.
I was going to say, you can definitely
Yeah.
get rid of one of those heroic interceptions. Absolute Zero does not like those.
At this stage of the game. Yeah, I think the flag is the best call, but obviously, it's your call.
Yeah, I think it's probably time to play Inspiring Presence. Finally.
It is time to inspire the troops!
I'm feeling inspired
Hey,
and healed.
Now remember, he is going to heal for 15 when he flips, so it's
Yeah.
not really. You don't really need to worry about damaging him right now until he flips.
All right. Hopefully I can get myself a belt sometime soon. That'd be very nice.
Alright.
Maybe an
I
impale?
was going to say, I'm definitely going to impale him if that's cool with everybody.
Totally.
Awesome. And I guess I'll just heal. So in terms of order of operations, he's gonna heal himself back up to full and then hit himself with the safe house people, right?
Yeah, that seems like a
We
good
could
idea.
decide the other way, which would be foolish.
Which, yes, it would be not the smartest, but
Yes, but it is an option if you want.
You're
For some
getting a
reason.
lot of mileage out of that danger sense.
I'll take it.
Managed to dodge.
yeah, that
Steph's
worked
very
out great.
again.
Oh my god, he's so creepy on his flip side. Like so creepy. Like, oh my gosh. Whew.
All right, now we can wail on him.
I can put my infrared eyepiece back in hand. I'm not going to be using it, so
Yep.
I think that's not a bad idea.
Put it away. I'm okay with that.
And you can throat jab him on your turn.
Works for me.
Mind fire.
I am so happy that I have those smoke bombs.
You can tell his
Saved
mind is
my
on
butt.
fire because his hair is glowing.
I think it's time for throat jabbing.
Is there any connection between Spite's hair and Night Mist's hair?
Ooh.
You know, I've never really known. It's always been one of those things that's sort of been in my head, but there's no way of knowing without Christopher telling us.
I smell some fan fiction.
I wonder if Foot has any ideas.
I don't think I want to go there. I don't want to talk about Night Mist and Spite's day at the hair salon. That's just down that way madness lies.
That is very true.
All right. So actually, I don't have to use Next Evolution because nothing's going to damage me. But
Maybe a bolster allies?
I kind of want cards for myself. You guys have lots of cards.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to Thok.
I was gonna say, in the
bolster allies also gives you a card. Well,
Yeah, I know, but I get to do 2 damage with Thok.
this is true. This is very true, and he doesn't heal anymore. So yeah, totally good call.
Yeah, I think, and I may as well use Next Evolution in case you don't throat jab next time, which you will. But
Which
you
I
know,
will, but still,
Yeah.
it's a good call.
Anything could happen.
Always true.
All right. Yes. Impale. All right. So I'm thinking thermal shockwave.
Yep.
Seems
Thermal
like a good
shockwave
call.
shenanigans.
I'm gonna do 3 against him. I mean,
And you've already done how much with your impale?
oh right, I forgot about that.
The Impale did 4, I think.
3 or 4, yeah. So let's actually pop that open and take a look real quick. So I have dealt 6 cold damage this turn.
Well, there you go. I'll turn
Anyone
into a
wanna get chilly for an extra damage boost?
I don't think it's worth it.
I'm okay with that not happening to me.
All right, fair enough.
Especially since Wraith will punch you back.
Ah, yes, good point.
Nice hit.
Oh, Spite. You didn't know what you opened up here. The Pycross says, I'm waiting for the day you guys release puzzle mode and let players set up scenarios for others to solve. We actually had an internal conversation about puzzle mode because it's actually, essentially, puzzle mode is a really great testing mode that we should probably make for ourselves someday. But we haven't done it yet. And as much as it is something we'd like to do, I wouldn't hold your breath on that. We have so many other things we need to get to before we can do that. So
Yeah, I'm thinking combat stance.
You haven't been damaged since, like, the second round.
Yeah, the thing is though, like I love the idea behind playing a combat stance here. I love like the constant like back and forth damage, but it still makes perfect sense to throw it away.
Yeah, and in this particular battle, like, you know, you can react against him in the early rounds. You react against him, and he heals it up. So
Yeah.
I would actually suggest using Razor Ordnance after Throat Jab, but because he can't deal damage
Right.
anyway.
No, that makes total sense. Didn't think about it. Yeah.
we
I
could
think-
rewind and then we
I
don't
think-
get the mint.
I think we've
No,
got
no.
this.
We move on.
That's right. I am going for mint here too in multiplayer. I'm going to continue searching for lead from the front,
Yeah. No. Total. Good
or
call.
motivational charge, or another inspiring presence. Sure, why not?
So I was trying to get caught up on the chat.
Shuffle
Did
my
we
deck
throw
again.
jab again, or did we not throw jab again?
We did throw jab again.
Okay, cool.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the other thing is which one of his drugs is the one that like churns the deck like a crazy.
That's the PL626 compound 911.
Yeah, that one I remember the first time I was playing, one of the first times I was playing against him, and that came out, and it was like I was trying to be all fancy and like play on the top of my deck and stuff, and all of a sudden it was all gone. And I was like, oh, well, so much for that.
Yeah.
All right, so Frostbound Drain.
That seems like a good call. Although, just be careful with your math, because you don't want to end up thermal shockwaving yourself to death.
That's true. But I mean, well, yes, that's true. But I still may...
I think if you Frostbound Drain and then heal off of it, you'll be safe.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so if I heal this and then do the shenanigans with the thermal shockwave, that should be pretty good.
Yeah, should be very fine.
All right. Oh, I should mention too that
You're at maximum hit points.
I have been listening to the Shattered Timelines music in the car on the way to school with my kids, and this is far and away their favorite soundtrack from the game. Yeah, look at that, 14. Oh,
very nice, very nice.
Kill.
You probably would have killed him if you had hit him with the.
Yeah. I was
you might have killed yourself. I haven't done the math, but it would have been close.
So my kid's favorite song has been bouncing around between Misinformation, which they absolutely love. The fact that it switches to like crazy in the middle and there's like a cat squealing and stuff, I think that's like the coolest thing ever. And then and then when she goes, my daughter loves that bit. But now she likes Time Cataclysm because it's so long that you can't listen to the whole thing before they get to school. So they're very excited about it.
Well, it's also just a really nice medley of all the other stuff.
It really is. Like, it's always changing. It's always new. Yeah, it's good stuff.
You have 17 and 19, so that's still going to take effect. He only has 7 hit points. I'm not going to kill him, but I got to go ahead and try.
Worth a shot.
I'm going to bring him down to 1.
He's down to 1. Sucker punch.
I feel like, well...
Oh, if only I had managed to... If only I had had a belt, I would have been able to take him out, but I'm okay with it.
I mean, do we want to wrap it back around and let Wraith finish him off with a Razor
I'm not sure we can.
That's
because
not possible.
The Impale's going to kill him.
Oh, right.
And yet, I'm okay with that, because we have 1.
Take that, Spite.
The Razor Ordnance almost killed him just as the Impale came to us.
I'm okay with that.
Is a Razor Ordnance on the rocks?
It's neat. The graphic of the comic book just sort of looks like it's hovering in midair because it has parts.
Yeah,
it has a building in it.
Yeah, the same piece of art. There it is, folks. Mint condition.
And thanks to you fine folks, I have managed to get my infection achievement, so thank you.
Hey, there you go. Now you can go out and infect other people in multiplayer.
Well, I'll have to, obviously.
So if anybody was wondering if it is possible to get mint on this particular one-shot, the answer is yes. Especially when you have 3 people, 2 of whom are experts in Sentinels and 1 of whom is me, playing the game.